Over the last few seasons of The Flash, we've seen Grant Gustin's Barry Allen grow from a speedster who could barely hit 700 miles an hour to reaching speeds of over Mach 13.2. And ever since season 4 debuted last fall, we've seen him show off more and more impressive levels of speed with every episode. I mean, he could dismantle a car going over 100 miles an hour in just 5 seconds, make a full breakfast and grab coffee from Jitters while a pancake was still flipping in the air, and even stopped a full-on prison riot without anybody noticing exactly what happened. Seriously, season 4 hasn't even finished yet, and we can already see that this dude is crazy fast, definitely way faster than we've seen in the previous 3 seasons. But the real question is, just how fast is he so far? Well, let's take a look and find out. So like always, we need a good base feat to start with, and we get a pretty good one about midway through the second episode when we see Barry save Joe from an exploding grenade. Now before we can figure out how fast he's moving, we need to figure out a few things first, like the fragment velocity of that grenade, which we can find out thanks to this online calculator. The grenade in question is clearly a classic pineapple grenade, and these things could be filled with a variety of explosives, but I'm gonna assume it's filled with the standard 1.5 ounces or 52 grams of TNT. Pineapple grenades also had an empty weight of 1.1 pounds or 0.5 kilograms, and plugging these numbers into our online calculator, we can see that the pineapple grenade has an initial fragment velocity of 2,141 meters per second. Joe looks like he and Tim Kwan managed to jump maybe 6 feet or about 1.8 meters away. This means Barry in real time only had about 0.8 milliseconds to save the both of them. Using a stopwatch, I counted that it took Barry about 4 seconds to move the same distance Joe and Tim did. So doing the math on that means that Barry traveled at a speed of only 0.45 meters per second. The thing is though, we see him save Joe and Tim during the slowed down portion of the scene. So how fast is he going in real time? Well, starting from Joe's jump to when he falls to the floor, the slower part of the scene lasted 30 seconds. Dividing the time spent in Barry's point of view by the real life amount of time he would have had to save these guys gives us a multiplier of 37,500. And multiplying Barry's speed in this scene by the multiplier we just found means that Barry's really traveling at a speed of 16,875 meters per second. That's about 37,748 miles per hour, or about 60,750 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 49. That's not too bad, especially for somebody who once said moving around this level of speed wasn't actually a thing.
Look, he ain't you, Barry. He can't just go Mach 50.
Mach 50 isn't a real thing.
Going back to Barry's return from the Speed Force in episode 1, we saw him run out of Central City and into some random family's car miles away. According to Joe, the location Barry managed to run to is 300 miles away from Central City.
State police picked him up on the 112 outside of Ivy City.
That's 300 miles away.
And using a stopwatch, I counted that it took Barry about 9 seconds to run that distance. Plugging both of these numbers into our usual velocity formula, V equals D over T, gives us this, and doing the math tells us that right after getting out of the Speed Force, Barry was capable of reaching speeds of about 33 miles per second. That's about 118,800 miles per hour, or 191,190 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 154. For comparison, a space shuttle during takeoff can reach a speed of almost 18,000 miles per hour, or about 28,968 kilometers an hour. This means that Barry's running over 6 times faster than a space shuttle going to space as soon as he gets out of the Speed Force. Skipping over to episode 8, during the Crisis on Earth X crossover, we see Barry doing some recon against a Nazi base while on Earth X. Now earlier in this scene, during a conversation about how the Earth 1 heroes were going to get back to their Earth, we found out that the base was 22.3 kilometers away.
So where is this thing?
It's actually not too far from here.
22.3 kilometers to be exact.
Doubling that to cover Barry's back and forth travel distance means that he ran a total distance of 44.6 kilometers. And using a stopwatch, I counted that it took Barry exactly 0.67 seconds to run to the Nazi base, do some recon, and run back. Plugging these numbers into our usual formula and doing the math tells us that during this recon mission, Barry's running at a speed of about 148,906 miles per hour, or about 239,641 kilometers an hour. By the way, that's 194 times the speed of sound. Moving on to the end of the Crisis on Earth X crossover, we saw Barry race over to Star City to pick up Diggle so he could officiate Barry and Iris's wedding back in Central City.
Wait, just 1 second. If you guys don't mind, if you don't mind, really, if you don't mind, but would you marry us too?
And Oliver and Felicity's too, I guess.
A little warning next time?
Anyways, according to Oliver back in the pilot episode of The Flash, the two cities are 600 miles apart.
So why come to me? Something tells me you didn't just run 600 miles to say hi to a friend.
Meaning Barry, running to Star City and back to Central City, covered a total distance of 1,200 miles. Assuming Barry took off right after Felicity shut up, it took him about 5 seconds to run this distance. Plugging our numbers into our usual velocity formula gives us this, and doing the math means that Barry was running at a speed of 864,000 miles per hour, or 1,390,000 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 1,126. In episode 2, during the fight against Kilgore, Barry was forced to fry the gadgets in his suit, so after a quick pep talk from apparently the only scientific authority in Star Labs,
you need to throw a lightning bolt. It might short the suit out, give him back control. Or it might set off the self-destruct early.
Or it might stop his heart. Barry, you need to listen to me.
He managed to hit himself with his own thrown lightning. Now, because it's impossible to scale how far Barry or the lightning move, we're just gonna have to use his lightning speed as a measurement. Assuming Barry's lightning moves at the same speed as natural lightning, then it's moving at a speed of about 220,000 miles per hour, or about 354,055 kilometers an hour. After Barry throws it, it took about 8 seconds to travel the same distance he covered in 2. This means Barry is 4 times faster than lightning in this scene, meaning he's able to run at a speed of 880,000 miles per hour, or about 1,416,222 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 1,146. Now that's definitely fast, but that's still nowhere near Barry's fastest feat to date. That honor belongs to the end of episode 12, when Barry ran fellow Iron Heights prisoner Big Sur to Jeju, China, and made it back in the time it took a camera to pan over to his cell. We know, thanks to a letter we saw in the episode The Man in the Yellow Suit, that Central City is located in Missouri, and we also know that Barry apparently took the time to run the length of the Great Wall, which stretches from Dandong in the east to Lop Lake in the west. Now we know a flight from Missouri to Dandong is 6,579 miles, meaning the distance in land miles is about 7,565 miles, or about 12,174 kilometers. After that, we can add in the length of the Great Wall, which, based on an archaeological survey in 2012, was found to be 21,196 kilometers in length. And finally, we can add in the distance from Lop Lake to Danba, the county Jeju is located in, which is 3,388 kilometers. So altogether, Barry ran a total distance of 36,758 kilometers while taking Big Sur to China. Assuming he took the exact same route back to jail, that would mean Barry traveled a total distance of 73,516 kilometers. Using the camera as a timer, we can see that it took Barry about 3 seconds to cover that distance. Doing the math on this tells us that Barry's running at a speed of about 24,505 kilometers a second. Converting that to miles per hour and kilometers an hour means that Barry's running at a speed of 54,816,124 miles per hour, or 88,218,000 kilometers an hour. That's about Mach 71,443, or about 12 times slower than the speed of light. Seriously, that is fucking crazy.
Do you see how fast he's running?
I've never gone that fast.
No one has.
And keep in mind, we haven't even seen all of season 4 yet. Who knows what all Barry's going to be capable of later this season. But anyways guys, that's just a small demonstration of how fast the CW Flash is during season 4. If you guys agreed with any of my calculations, or you have your own numbers you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then go ahead and click that like button, and if you're new, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button too. I've also got links to my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon in the description. You should probably check those out too. And if you want to see more of my content, then you can click the link to my last video. It's right there in the middle of your screen. Alright, and I will see you all next time.